One. Hello, I'm Bryce Tubbs. Today with me, I have Elisheva Hudson. She's a filmmaker, producer, and editor. She helps you get your voice out to your audience with your brand. I'm extremely excited to have her here because she's going to help us really talk about video content and some different things that you can do to make it a little bit better. Is there anything else I missed in that introduction?
No, that covers it.
Excellent. Cool. So everybody has a backstory. What were you doing before you got into this, or what was the trigger to get you into this?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't really feel like I necessarily have one moment. Like some people have this moment where they have an experience and they're like, now I have to do this the rest of my life. For me, I just feel like it was sort of a natural progression, how I went from one thing to the next. So my dad, he, I guess you could say, works in the industry. He's retired now, but he worked for Comcast. So he spent his career doing a lot of business for broadcasting, television, that sort of thing. And my sister is an actress. Now she teaches acting to kids at a school. But basically, growing up, we did lots of theater. That was sort of my main thing in high school that I did. So I kind of realized that I wasn't going to go into theater. I enjoyed the whole process of creating and directing and that sort of thing, but I didn't really see a future in theater itself. So for me, the natural next thing to move to really felt like film and video. I was a little intimidated by actual film, like being a film director per se. So I started looking at colleges that dealt with television and video and that sort of thing. So I actually went to really specific schools dedicated to television and video. So when I was an undergrad, I started doing a lot of stuff for the schools, news station, television production, that sort of thing. And I did a lot of producing during my time there. And what I found was, when I was working in a lot of the news programs, that it was really entertainment focused. It was fun. It was very fast paced, but I didn't really feel like this is my life purpose. And not that your job has to be your entire life purpose, right? But I really just felt like I kind of wanted something more. So I started looking into other avenues, and I really just naturally was really drawn towards documentary. I really liked it because it has an educational purpose. It has a focus of possibly helping people. And I also liked the idea that I was really talking to real people. My headline is Real People, Real Stories, Real Results on LinkedIn. And I really just liked the process of actually taking real stories. There's so many real people out in the world that have so many engaging stories. Why are we sitting there making up stories for film when we have so many real life stories that are so interesting? So really from there, that's sort of what got me connected in documentary. And ever since, I haven't really left. And now what I do is I specialize in promotional content that's sort of more documentary focused. So I like to do stuff for businesses and organizations and entrepreneurs, mostly interview-based stuff, but I do all types of video. So it doesn't mean I don't like other aspects of production and I don't focus it and do it, but I still feel like I take that love for documentary and I really try and embed it in the work that I do for people. Because ultimately, as I'm sure we'll talk about, and a lot of people are getting to know if they're getting into video content, is it's all about the person's story. So the more that we can focus on what is the story here and how can people connect to this story, no matter what it is that you're making, that's going to be what's going to help people focus on the content that you're making.
Can I ask you a question? So on your LinkedIn and on different social media that you do, you do a lot of video content, that's put out to help people. A couple of things that a lot of people struggle with when doing that. One is how to pick new topics, not running out of things to say before they have an audience. Two is, you were talking about how to share their story in a way that both connects them to people, but sometimes they might have a couple fears surrounding that. Can you talk a little bit about those two?
Yeah, so the first one that you're asking about is really how do I, whatever it is that I do, if I'm a car salesman, if I'm in real estate, whatever it is, it's coming up with content. If someone has realized that I need to be creating video on the regular, even if I'm not a video professional, which on LinkedIn is super obvious that that's very popular, right? So one of the key questions is, how do I come up with content? So one of the easiest ways actually to come up with a constant flow of just ideas and videos. And, this really is getting into more of the marketing end. And there are a lot of marketing people out there, even on LinkedIn, that that share these ideas, and they're very, very key, is understanding who your audience is. And with that audience, knowing how can I help them, or what questions can I help them answer? Mm-hmm. So if my audience, for me, could be businesses, people who run businesses, entrepreneurs, it's kind of like a wide array of people. What I can do for that audience, or one thing that I can do, is I can show them that I know how to output a video from beginning to end. I can show them that I understand the editing process. And so even like you mentioned, like a lot of my videos are helping people, how do I frame this shot? Or how do I edit this thing together? How can I quickly do that? So in reality, what I'm trying to do is I want to be someone that they actually hire to do these things. But ultimately, everyone's going to be making some type of video until they get to that stage where they're ready to hire someone to make their videos. So for me, I kind of thought, okay, while they're in the stage of making their own video content, I can try and help them to get their, amateur video to look a little bit nicer, to be a little bit more smoother and clearer. So hopefully, if they one day get to a stage where they want to pay someone to do videos for them, that I will be the person that comes to mind. So that's sort of one, just like, that's an idea, and there's a lot to get into. But I think that's the basic idea if you're trying to come up with video content, is you want to be thinking about my potential clients, customers, audience. What is it that I can help them with? And you can totally make a list of a lot of different ideas. If you sell insurance, it could be something like, how do I know is the right time to get insurance? How do I know, what the right prices are for me? How do I know that someone's not cheating me out of X, Y, and Z? There's obviously, for everybody's field, that person knows it best. But those are the ideas that help you come up with content so that you can continue to make shorter videos, along the line and that sort of thing. And then your second question, if you could repeat it, it was more directed at helping people, right?
Actually, I have another question popped up into mind that actually flows.
Okay, great.
So I'll ask that second one a little bit later. So repeating content. So let's say that right now I'm getting 300 new connections a day on LinkedIn, right? But I still have a couple thousand who have been watching my videos. How frequently should I repeat the same video topic, managing my new audience without boring the old one,
Right. So this is the best thing that, at least from a marketing perspective, that people always give the best advice. And I don't necessarily follow it myself. So I'm giving you this advice as something that I really should be doing more of. But basically, the key here is consistency. So if you work really hard on some amazing video, and you do it kind of once a month maybe, or every few weeks sort of, but you don't really have any sort of consistency, then people will have a really hard time connecting to you and remembering you. So I don't know that you need to necessarily think about engaging the old people and getting, as in the older customers that you have, and getting new customers and that sort of thing. But I think if you can set yourself up a schedule where you say, I'm going to make a video every this often, then that's going to be something that will get new people catching your eye. That's going to be something where old people remember who you are and are waiting for your next video and really, really like it, even if it's every other week or every week or whatever it is. That's definitely consistency pays off in the long run over, let's say, making 7 videos one week and then not again for another 6 months.
Yeah. I tend to like to make, 100 videos at a time and then schedule them out.
Yeah.
100 topics in a 1 week span, you start to repeat yourself because your mind's in a certain, state.
Yeah. So in terms of repetition, look, I don't think repetition is that bad. You never want to have the exact same video, but for sure, I've had certain ideas that I've repeated. I have a video that's about how do you get the best interview? And I have another one that's how do you get the best framing if you're framing a shot? And I have another one that's 3 quick tips for doing your first video. Now, for sure, probably in my quick tips for doing your first video, one of those things is probably also in my how do you shoot the best interview, or also in my how do you frame this. But it's still a new video because it's contextualized under a different topic. So I don't think it's so bad to sort of, and just now, we're going to take this interview and you're going to take the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to put the whole thing out there. But then you're going to take little pieces and also, you know, possibly put it on social media, put it on LinkedIn, something like that, under a different context with a different title.
Mhm.
And I don't necessarily think that that's bad. People do that all the time. But what you want to do is you want to make it fresh in some way. Why are you resharing this? Some people even reshare it because they want to highlight to their audience, like, I think Gary Vee does this all the time. He says, like, I was right about this 10 years ago. Take a look at where we are today. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you make it fresh in some way, then I think that's fine. But what you don't want to do is maybe just keep on repeating the same type of video,
Yeah.
hoping that nobody notices.
Uh,
That would be my advice.
yeah, because I'm like, yeah, there's only so many things that you can say about like a certain topic sometimes, like,
Especially if you're doing 100 at once. I'm actually really impressed that you do that. That's pretty crazy.
I mean, yeah, they're pretty short, you know, like 3 minutes long.
Right.
So they're not like yours would be, well, actually no, because there's so much that goes into the stuff that you do. I feel like, well, I mean, because I'm not in that field, so to me it looks like you're doing a million different things. I wouldn't know, you know.
Right. If it's new information, it seems very technical, very hard. Yeah, I do try and think a lot about the videos that I do. I probably could make them simpler, to be honest. But I think there's also something to like, hey, as long as I'm doing this, I want it to be like packed with info, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because it's like weird when you like talk to different people on LinkedIn. Like some people are like, I'm only gonna make a video that's like under a minute long, and I'm like, how can you, you know, how could you give somebody an actionable tip in under 1 minute, like in 45 seconds? Like,
I know, it's true. But you really can give someone something.
yeah,
You're probably, you know, depending on, look, there's a lot of variables when it comes to length, of course, but you have to keep in mind that there are people that may not watch the whole thing. So, you know, like
yeah,
it could be better sometimes. If you can fit in something tangible in under a minute, I think that that's great. Usually I don't do that. Usually I find like 1:30 to 2 minutes is when I end up making most of my videos. If I can make them shorter, I think that would be better because people don't always make it to the end. But, you know, there has to be some compromise. You need to feel like you're at least finishing your thought and your idea.
yeah, yeah. You know, that's always the balance, the kind of like not challenge, but like the constant battle, engagement versus, you know, because like for example, some of my videos, they're designed to where I'm connecting with the audience. I'm trying to give them a tip, and then if they want, you know, more, then they can just go to the next step, right?
Yeah.
You know, so that's why it's always good. And it's like if someone doesn't really sit for the whole 3 minute video and like, you know, that's okay. They can come back to a different video, or, you know, as long as they're seeing me. I don't know.
Yeah, they're seeing you. And even if they get something just in the first minute, sometimes if there are, you know, here are 5 things that blah, blah, blah. You know, the benefit to having a title like that or something like that is someone kind of wants to be like, oh, now I have to get to number 5, so I'm going to sit here and do it. But even if they sat through 1 and 2 and they got something from it, that's still something.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So, you know, what's your vision for your life?
My vision for my life.
Or for your business, either one.
Yeah, wow, what a good question. I don't know that people always ask that. So, look, I think that in terms of my, you know, sort of my professional goals, as I was talking about sort of what got me into documentaries, I wanted to do something that for me had a purpose and for other people have a purpose. So I hope that I'm always doing work that is helping other people in some way. Now you might think that, oh, if I'm just making promotional content, how is that really helpful if you're just helping people make more money or make another sale or whatever it is? But I do feel like with that type of content, like you're really trying to understand each client and what they need and what they want and how you can really bring out their story. That's sort of the part that I really love about what I do is really listening to each person and thinking, where's the real story here and where will audiences connect with it? Even if it's something that to other people might seem like a really dry business position, topic, whatever it is, I feel like there's always some way to help people connect to that story. So that's something I really enjoy. And I really hope that I'm always working on projects that are helpful to people in some way, educating people about real people. And I think that my sort of trajectory in my life has always had that underlining thread. So my work is very important to me, but it's definitely not my only priority in life. My family is very important to me and leading like a meaningful life. You know, it's funny that it'll probably be interesting, you know, for people on LinkedIn or for professionals to hear this, because in the professional world, we're always talking about our professional goals, you know, but I think it's very important to me. And I think that most people throughout their life realize this at some point, is to really have an understanding of what are your priorities in life, and to make sure that you're really being true to that and living that. Now, that doesn't mean throwing away your job just because other things are important in life, but I think it does mean having a balance. So I also hope in my life that I'm always living up to those priorities in my life, and I'm giving them the proper balance. Obviously, there's so many times, especially right now, where that's really, really hard, you know, where kids aren't in school and there's no daycare, and, you know, things are a little bit crazy right now. And it's hard, you know, we never get it 100% right, but we're always trying. So I hope that I'm always living that balance along with, you know, the work that I do.
Mm. Yeah, you know, like this is not a bad time. My work is like 90% now, so that's, you know, really great. Super excited for that, you know.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of other stuff though. Like I don't have like children or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about.
Right, everyone has a different situation for sure. But
Yeah.
but in any case, people's lives have definitely been flipped, no matter what it is. Now, it could be you have a lot more work right now. That could be something that's really true. But I think everyone definitely is living in a different reality, whatever that means for them.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, you know, are you working on any special projects right now or anything new?
So really it's been that I actually just went full time with my business in the past year. So to me, I'm really trying to build a foundation of new clients, working on new projects. And right now it's even crazier, as you know, we were just sort of like mentioning. A lot of times right now, what I'm really doing is I'm really trying to build relationships with people. I had someone that I spoke to recently that literally had a call with me because she had a client that she possibly wanted to hire me for. And right as this whole coronavirus thing happened, so the client felt sort of that maybe now wasn't the right time to hire someone for video. And I think that that's, for a lot of people, they have stories like that where they had certain clients or certain things in the works, and people just kind of tightened up with everything going on. So for me right now, it's about building a proper foundation, because to me, not just with business, but everything in life, it's all about the foundation that you build. Building good client relationships, even if not everyone is, you know, spending a lot of money on video right now. And then I have ongoing clients that I'm still working with. So nothing specific to speak of per se, but I'm just kind of continuing and growing and really building.
Okay, that's great. So how can people go and find out more about you?
So you can find me on LinkedIn for sure. My business is called Elisheva Hudson Films. So if you just want to remember my name, that'll totally work. And my website is elishevahudson.com. So you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on my website. Very accessible. And, you know, even if you have questions about video, even if, you know, you're not really sure if you even want to hire someone, I'm totally happy to speak to people, to consult with people about things here and there if they have any questions about video or anything else.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Excellent. You know, I really appreciate your time, and, you know, you gave some pretty good tips about, you know, repetition and content flow. I really actually like that. That was pretty great.
Amazing. I hope it's helpful to you, to other people out there. Hope it helps somebody.
Excellent. I'm sure that it will. You know, so if you guys want to get more interviews from people just like this, who are great at what they do and are trying to help people and improve, you know, their life and the lives of others, I recommend you go and join my group. There's going to be a link either above or below, depending on where you see this video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed creating it. Have a great day. Talk to you soon, and see you later. And we're done recording in 3 and 2 and 1.